YouTube, what's poppin', baby? Welcome back to the channel. We back in the man cave. We back home, but only for the next few hours because we back on that grind. But actually, we might be home for the rest of the week, so this may be a little, we may be here for the next week. But hope you guys are having a great day. It is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Shout out to y'all. Y'all the real MVPs. I almost said the real OGs. Y'all is the OGs, but y'all the real MVPs. And hopefully everybody's having a great Mother's Day. But we are here because there is plenty of Browns news to get into. I really just wanted to kind of gloss over what happened in this previous week, aka Zadarius Smith. Give Andrew Berry a lot of praise and take a look at this little schedule real quick because why not? The schedule just dropped. We might as well get a little prediction out with it and kick things off the right way. So let's first talk about this Andrew Berry, right? I mean, look, in Berry we trust, right? I mean, it can't get no better than this. This offseason has been one of the best off seasons if you're a Browns fan in recent years. Now, I know that we kind of say that every year, but man, you want to talk about what Andrew Berry has done. Let's just go down the list. In January, we got Jim Schwartz, so we already knew what direction we were going. In the month of March, the man re-signed Taki, Ethan Postage, and A.J. Green. Then goes out and gets Dalvin Thompson, Ogba, and Juan Thorher all in the month of March. Come on now. Then April, we already know the draft and what he did in the draft. And still goes out and gets Marquise Goodwin, a solid receiver, and Goodwin and Elijah Moore. Then in the month of May comes back with another safety and a vet and Roddy McLeod who's played with Jim Schwartz and then pulls off the spectacular trade Zadarius Smith. And it's funny because I was going to make a post about it and I didn't because I was just so busy. Andrew Berry came out and said, yeah, we may be looking to make some moves here in the next couple of weeks. And then he comes out with a home run trade. This trade is... Come on now, we paying him $11 million, but we gave up 2 fifth-round picks. That's it. A 2024 and a 2025 fifth-round pick. And in exchange, we will get a 2025 sixth-round pick and a 2025 seventh-rounder pick and an elite pass rusher. Like, you want to talk about how scary this defense is becoming? Like, on paper, it's about as scary as it gets. Now, we don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but there should be no reason that the Browns do not have a top 5 defense this year. Minimum. We need to be talking closer to top 1 to 3, but they should be top 5, no doubt, this year. Too many weapons. The defensive scheme should be phenomenal. They are hyping up this defensive tackle out of Baylor so much. I am so excited to see what he's going to bring to this table because they're talking about slimming him down but keeping him strong so they can fit the scheme that he wants. And he's talking about he don't want to be a dump truck no more, this and that. It's like, bro, it's getting real. It's getting real fun. You can feel the energy just revolving around this team, and it's starting to feel like all these pieces to the puzzle are starting to slowly fit together, but ultimately we know what the big piece is, and that is it Deshaun Watson going to be the guy that we saw in 2022? That's the real question. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this schedule real quick because they did drop the schedule, and I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm looking at the schedule, and it's like, look, we realistically should not be losing. Like, honestly, we're a 10-win team. So, 10 wins automatically. And you'll be like, well, how do you come up with 10 wins automatically? With the amount of talent that we have on this roster, if we don't come out with 10 wins, it's probably a failed season, and we're probably talking about firing coaches again and looking at different pieces. Is Myles Garrett going to want to trade? Is Nick Chubb going to want to... Like, we're going to be talking about stuff like that. So this team needs to go at least 10 wins minimum. We should be competing for this division. I'm going to be honest with you. We should be competing for this division. Bengals got better. Ravens obviously got better. But ultimately, I think the Browns had the best offseason. If we're being honest. With the additions that we have, like, you can call me being a homer or whatever the case may be, but I don't know. Andrew Berry was in his bag this offseason. But starting out week 1, we got the Bengals at home. I'm telling you now, this is where the streak ends. Now, we finally won a first a first week game, but it's been a while since we've won a home opener. So we need this. So we gonna check that as a W. Week 2, we go to Pittsburgh. Monday Night Football. If you think I'm gonna call a loss here, y'all are crazy. There is no way Kenny Pickett is about to dish us on Monday Night Football. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And it's like, for real, I don't see us losing the first 4 games of the season. Like, this should be one of them years where we come out and we punch everyone in the mouth. When you got this quarter, this is the difference though. Like, we have a quarterback that can come out and punch people in the mouth every single snap. So from the jump, we should not be given no slack. So week 3, Tennessee at home. They embarrassed us last time where they were here. They're gonna have a rookie quarterback. We should be winning this game at home. Then you talk about Baltimore at home again, October 1st, the first game of October at home, another division opponent, 3 division games in the first 4 weeks. Can you imagine if we come out and start 3-0 in the division? And who's to say we can't come out in the first 4 weeks and pull off 4 wins in a row? Now, I'll give us this one because it is at home. I do think we lose a game to Baltimore. So you can chalk up the Week 10 loss. I'll give them that one at their house because I do think we lose some games. Now, what games we lose, I'm still trying to figure that out. But going into the bye week at Week 5, coming back to with San Francisco at home, this is where you could potentially lose this game. This would be one of those games where either we're going to pull it out, we're going to like blow them out, or it's going to be one of those close games that we probably are on the wrong side of. But being at home, I just feel like this is a prime position for us to capitalize off of a bye week with the rest. Why can't we pull that out? So why can't we be 5-0 after week 6, right? Now week 7 in Indy, part of me wants to make this an L, but I think week 8 in Seattle is where we take the L. 4 o'clock game, out of division opponent, and it just feels like it could be one of those games where you may not quite show up for it or whatever the case may be. So I'm torn between saying we lose back-to-back weeks in Indy and Seattle, but Indy always plays us well. So that's where I'm kind of conflicted. So I'll put an L for the Seattle game, and I'll lean towards an L in the Colts game as well, back-to-back games. But then we come home against the Cardinals November 5th. It should be a little bit colder out. Obviously, we lost to the Cardinals last time that they were here. So it could be a nice little redemption spot, if you want to call it, whatever the case may be. I can't see us losing 3 weeks in a row because that would lead us into losing 4 weeks in a row because I do have us losing to Baltimore in Baltimore. So I'm gonna chalk us up for a W against that Cardinals team. So we're at 6 wins right now. We're at 6-3 through 10 weeks. Now we go back home against Pittsburgh. Look, this is the year we get the brooms out. I said it last time. It didn't happen. Somehow Pittsburgh they're just too good of an organization, and it pees me off. But hey, it is what it is. So I'll give I'm going for the sweep this year. We're not losing to Pittsburgh. So chalk that up as a win. We're at 7-3 now. Week 12, this should be a really good matchup. This is at Denver. I think the challenge with this team is going to come on the road. If Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, by this time they should have things flowing, and that offense should be pretty good. And, road games, Denver always plays us well. It was close when they were here. I could see them getting one there. So I'll give them a L for that one. And that'll put us at 7-4, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7-4. Going into week 13 at LA. The question is, what is Matthew Stafford going to be? if they are anything like they were last year going into the end of the year, this should be a win. But if also it could you could look at the other end where it's like if they are as bad as they are, sometimes we tend to play down to our competition. And I could very easily seeing us going, playing catch up. Maybe they get a spark somehow, and then, we don't find a way to pull out a win that we should have won. So again, it's not as tough as it should be, but I'm trying to just put it in. I'm just trying to look at it through a real lens. Because as much as I want to just peel off and say we can win all of these games, because I do think we are very capable of winning all of these games, I know it's not going to happen. And I know there's going to be some games that we shouldn't lose. And I feel like this Rams game could be one of those games that we shouldn't lose, that we end up losing. So I'm going to lean towards a win now, but we'll see we get closer to the season and how things are looking. But we're gonna lean towards a win now, so that'll put us at what 8-4 through 13 weeks. Then we come home for the Jacksonville game, week 14. Look, this should be a game that we win. This is December football. This is when you got to get down to the nitty gritty, and we're gonna be needing some wins, especially if we're sitting at 7 and what is it? What did I say? 8-4. We're sitting at 8-4, so the division could be getting pretty tight. And who knows who's going to be good in the AFCs this year. So this could be a huge playoff seeding spot between Jacksonville and the Browns, quite frankly. So we're going to need this win. We're going to go back-to-back there. And we're actually going to go the next 2 in a row after that against Chicago and Houston. Now week 17, this is where it starts to get interesting because these last 2 games could be a playoff factor, maybe a seeding factor for home field. You've got the Jets week 17 on December 28th. Then you've got week 18 closing out with the division opponent in the Bengals. I do think we lose one of these. Which one? That's the question that's up in the air. But it's like, as much as I want to say the Jets are gonna beat us, it's just like I can't. I don't want. No way we let these guys beat us twice at home back-to-back years, right? Like, just no way. But Aaron Rodgers and in December football, it's always tough. So this was just like, I don't even know, like, this is just doing this playoff like schedule prediction is kind of tough because it's like I usually like to wait until some of the dust starts to settle with all the preseason and everything. And I really just don't want to be a homer this year. Like, I don't want to come out here and feed y'all that BS because it's like we realistically should be smacking all these teams. Like, honestly, we should probably lose one game to Baltimore. We should probably lose one, maybe 2 of those away games between Colts, Seattle, Denver, and LA maybe. Obviously, I think the Bengals are going to play as well, but we always seem to have the upper hand over the Bengals, but we could lose one of those games as well. So it's like, realistically, we should only be losing a maximum of 5 games, maybe 4. And anything else would, quite frankly, probably be a failure because we have way too much talent this year. There should be no excuses. Kevin Stefanski should have complete control over this offense. Deshaun Watson should be in stride, and this defense should be everything that we are expecting it to be because at this point, what, you're missing a linebacker? Okay, you can argue and say you maybe need another linebacker, But Andrew Berry went out and gave you some safeties. Andrew Berry went out and got you defensive tackle help, defensive line help. He added to the secondary. Again, he added to this offense. You guys say you wanted receivers. Well, you've got guys that can go vertical. You've got guys that can play in the slot. Um, he, oh, excuse me. He re-signed Ethan Posick and some people on the line, drafted a huge piece from Ohio State that could potentially be a future Pro Bowler. So the excuses are running out now. At this point, it's like if you can't figure it out, I mean, it may be time to start sadly looking to move some of these pieces and looking for a new coach, because we all know how I was on the Fire Stefanski train last season, in the beginning of the season, going into the end of the season. But then once we found out about the whole Paulty Podesta has a little bit of control in how the offense goes, that's when I kind of hopped off the Fire Stefanski train. I do believe Kevin Stefanski has a good offensive mind, that could get the most out of players, but it's just that situational football that comes into play for me that I need to see growth. And I think you're gonna get tested super early in the season. You've got a low key gauntlet in this first 4 weeks between three division opponents and Tennessee. Tennessee always they're just well coached, so those are always tough games, and they still do have Derrick Henry. And Bengals, Pittsburgh, and Ravens games are never easy. So you're going to need that week 5 break going in, but then you're right back at it with a nice little tough opponent in San Francisco. That's going to be a nice challenge piece, because that's a Super Bowl contending team year in and year out. And then Indy always plays you well. And then it's like, how are you going to thrive on the road? Because Seattle was a playoff team last year. So all of these teams that we play in the first 8 weeks are all very good tests, whether it's division opponent, well-coached teams, or teams that have experience or Super Bowl aspirations. So we're gonna see Kevin Stefanski be put to the test early, and I'm excited to see if he's gonna grow this year, because whether we like it or not, he got the most out of Baker Mayfield in his best year. He had Jacoby Brissett as a top 10 quarterback. So we can't sit here and say that he's not doing something right, because he can find a way to get the most out of some players. So I think it's more so going to be about how is Watson and Stefanski going to be able to mesh, and are they going to open up the playbook like we expected them to at the end of last year? Because it sure as hell didn't look like they opened up the playbook when you got Jacoby Brissett coming in on 4th and down and throwing 50-yard passes to Jacoby Brissett, or to Donovan Peoples-Jones, instead of Watson doing that. So that's going to do it for this video. I just wanted to give a quick little schedule rundown. So I like I said, 10 wins minimum. I didn't really give you the full schedule breakdown. I just wanted to gloss over it and give you where I'm thinking of how this season's gonna go, because I got high expectations for this year, and we need to have this figured out, because we cannot go have another season like last year. We can't, because I think we would all lose our minds. But that's going to do it for this video, y'all. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.